Okay, so before I bore you to death and bury the lead and ramble on for an hour or so, let me just say this that there are a lot of free courses. There's a lot of advice for authors, especially when it comes to marketing and advertising. I will say right off the bat that the Brian Cohen's 5-day author ad profit challenge, I can never get the combination of the words right, is legit. It's free. The catch is they try to get you to sign up for their year-long course called Author Ad School, but it's a very soft pitch. They say, hey, you don't have to sign up for this. You can keep coming back time and time again for free. Just so you know, I'm not being paid anything from them. In fact, I was up for a job with Brian Cohen. I made it through like 3 rounds of interviews, and then they said things, but no things. And I still swear by them and him and the course, the free course. I also have not opted to pay for the year-round course. That doesn't mean I don't think it's worth the money or the time. I'm just not in a position to do it. And maybe someday I will. I don't know. But I have, as they say, keep coming back. Even if you never spend a dime with us, we're happy to have you. We're happy to have you participate. So I started back in July of 2022, and I've been doing it religiously every 90 days. And my sales, not only have my sales increased quite a bit, but my understanding of marketing. So that is the cold open. That's the I learned that from television, and then I've seen other YouTubers do it. So that is my cold open. So here's the introduction. So cold open means you kind of give a preview of what your topic is, and then you go into the introductions. Hello, my friends. My name is Cody C. Engdahl. I'm an author. I'm the author that you know. And if you don't know me, I'd like to introduce myself. I'd like to be your friend. I am the author of 5 novels. I'm about a quarter way through my 6th. I've also have 2 nonfiction works that are all available on Amazon. I do not claim to be any kind of expert in anything, but I have experience, and I'm an author upon a path. And many of us authors are upon a path. Some of us are closer to the top of the mountain. Some of us are just looking at the mountain and considering climbing it. Many, like me, are somewhere between starting the climb and getting to the top. And that's kind of the way I kind of see it. And for me, I'm really enjoying the journey. I've been publishing books now since I published my first novel back in 2019. Yeah, it's been 5 years. It's been 5 years. It will be 5 years, which is amazing. Like I said, it's 5 books out. Every book that comes out, I incrementally get a large, I sell more. I mean, first of all, there's more products, but also my readership is constantly growing. So with each launch, it gets bigger and bigger, because with each launch, I bring on new people. And of course, all year round, I'm bringing people into the series. I write a series. It's called The Long Century, starting with Rampage on the River. And, when I put that out, family and friends. And then I started getting readers, and then Perils of Perryville. At some point, I decided it was time to, when I first started writing, like many people, I think I was under the idea that all you had to do that when you haven't written a book yet, it feels like just writing that first book is like the biggest thing, and then getting your book published. But a lot of people think that once you write a book and you publish and it's available around the world, that's it. You just sit back and you wait for the money to come pouring in. And you will get some of that initially, but there are millions of books on Amazon. And so for your book you have to do more than just put the book out there, because there are a lot of people, whatever you like. If you write space vampires, you write cozy mysteries, you write historical fiction about Romans, you write memoirs, whatever it is, children's books, it may be the best thing out there, but if no one knows about it, you're not going to sell any. So you need to, at some point, go to the next step, and that is to start marketing. Now, initially, I did all my marketing, which is called organic, on social media. I was posting on my own, to my own social media following. I was also posting in a lot of groups and pages on Facebook. That's really, you can get away with that only so much, and it only helps so much because a lot of people see it as spam. A lot of these groups, they see you promoting your own book. Sometimes they don't take very kindly to it. I've been kicked off of groups for that. So eventually you're going to have to put your money where your mouth is. And you think about this, right? Coca-Cola is one of the best known brands in the world. And yet you see Coca-Cola advertisements everywhere. You see them sponsor NASCAR, race cars. You see billboards on the freeway. You see ads on television, but everybody knows who they are. But yet they still spend hundreds of millions of dollars reminding you who they are. And people who are, and I think this is beginning to end. Some people who are published through a commercial publisher, like Stephen King, I don't think he thinks too much about advertising. The publisher takes care of that. But for mid-level and new authors, a lot of times, and I've heard this from actual authors and read it in articles, you get that publishing deal and you think, I'm in. My dream came true. Someone other than me is going to publish my book. Most of the time, that's all they're going to do, and a minimum amount of marketing. And if you want to make it work, and what they're doing is they're gambling. They're picking a bunch of ponies. They pick a bunch of new authors every year, and they publish them. And some of them might turn into the next J.K. Rowling, and some of them fizzle out. And a lot of the ones that fizzle out are ones that don't do their own marketing. So no one's going to give it to you. You got to go out and get it yourself. So at some point in my career, I decided that it was time for me to start putting some money down. And it was in 2022, I think. I think it was the year that I put out, I put out Rampage in 19. I put out Perils in 20. I put out Blood for Blood in 21. I think it was around July of 2021. So in 2022, I decided to start doing paid advertising, and I didn't know what I was doing, but I decided that the very first place I should go, and thankfully my instinct was right. The very first place I should spend any money, and I stand by this. And by the way, Brian Cohn will tell you the same thing. If you're going to spend any money on advertising, start at Amazon. And the reason I'm saying this is for people who are selling their books on Amazon. And by the way, this works for not only independently published authors like myself. I'm published directly through Amazon, so there's not an intermediary publishing house between me and Amazon. I deal directly with Amazon. But let's say you are published with Simon & Schuster or Random House or any of the Canelo, any of these guys. You can still run ads yourself. No one's stopping you, and Amazon will be happy to take your money. But I make that sound like it's a scam. It's not, because you pay for the advertising, but Amazon also wants you to succeed, because if you succeed, first of all, you'll advertise more. Second of all, when you succeed, they succeed, because when my books sell on Amazon, I make money. Amazon makes money, right? So they're on your side, but you still got to work for it. You still got to do your part. And Amazon is doing their part. They're giving you a platform to sell your books. They globally, and they do a lot of work to advertise just in general, Amazon. But once you're on Amazon, you need to start advertising yourself to get your book out in front of people who who would read it. So why would you? So the reason why I say if you're going to spend any money at all, start with Amazon. Well, a couple of things. First of all, because that is exactly where people are looking for books. So the easiest way to get to people, prospective readers, is right where they are actively shopping. So if people are looking for books right now on Amazon, your ad gets in front of them. Now, I'm not saying you don't do other things. I do Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram, and very successful. But I will say that Meta spends your money very fast, so you have to. That's like a whole other level, and so you should, I would say, start with Amazon. So that's what I did. I started with Amazon, and I started ads. I think in January. I think it was a New Year's Revolution and New Year's resolution in 2022. So in January, I started doing that, and then and I think I went online, and David Chisholm is one of the various gurus out there. He's the guy behind Publisher Rocket. And I followed his advice, and I'm not saying his advice was wrong or bad or anything. It was a good introductory to it, but that's like a 5-minute video. And I started, I got some traction, and I made like an ad. I think I made one ad or something like that. And then I decided that that if I'm going to take this serious as an independent, basically what I am is a micro publishing house, is what Engdahl House is. So as an author and a publisher, if I'm going to take this seriously, I need to learn how to market books. And fortunately for me, I enjoy that. I come from an advertising background. My mother ran an advertising agency most of my life. I worked for that agency and became a partner of that agency for years. I wrote and produced local television commercials in Detroit at WDIV Channel 4 in Detroit. So I have a background in it. I enjoy it. I almost enjoy the fun of advertising and marketing as much as I enjoy writing the books. That is absolutely, and doing the research. That's absolutely true. So I'm lucky there. And if you don't enjoy it, well, buck up, because you better learn how to love it. Because, like I said, very few people now, even people who are getting contracts with big publishing houses, can live in a world where all they have to do is write a book and hand it off to an editor and start the next one, which I'm sure there's a lot of writers who would love that scenario. I don't think I would. I tell you the truth, I've been saying this now. I think when I first started writing, I had the fantasy a lot of people do of starting independent, and then, like a Cinderella story where I get discovered and then, picked up by a big publisher. If that comes along and it's a good deal and it makes sense for me and for them, because I think it has to make sense both sides for it to be successful. Yeah, I would look into that. But I do enjoy the direct control I have over my own creative. I enjoy the control I have over what the topics I choose. I always make the joke that if you want to be commercially published, you better be writing either Romans, Vikings, or Nazis, because those are the three things that sell. I don't think I'd be able to pitch a book about the Austro-Prussian War, which is my last book, to a commercial publisher. And it doesn't mean that won't sell, but they're looking for home runs. And so if they're going to, they got a lot of overhead to pay. They got buildings to pay for and salaries to pay. So they want to make sure that if they're going to publish something, it's going to be something that is a guaranteed hit. And I think that's why a lot of times, you get a lot of the same stuff from big publishers, and you get a lot of the same stuff from Hollywood studios and from big record companies, because they're risk averse. And I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm just saying that is basically the consequence, that you get a lot of homogenized same thing over and over and over again, and all the authors sound the same, and all their plots sound the same, and they're all writing about the same 3 things that happened in the Middle Ages and all that kind of stuff. But like I said before, and I know I'm talking in circles like I normally do. It's even if you're with the biggest publishing house in the universe, you still gotta you gotta start marketing, and you gotta have an understanding. So once I started, I realized I wanted to learn more. So I went and I decided that every Sunday. Now I've kind of already fallen off this because now it's pretty much every day. But every Sunday I was going to spend like an hour working on marketing and understanding it. So I went to the source. I went to Amazon, and that's where I found Brian Cohen. Now, so this is the thing that, because there's a million come-ons, a million people out there selling courses, selling advice. I remember I had this woman who we became friends, but she was coming at me on Twitter like, how would you like unlimited reviews? And she kept using the term unlimited reviews. And I was like, what makes you think my reviews are limited? I don't understand. What do you mean by unlimited reviews? Do I not have unlimited reviews? Sweetheart, there are no limits to my reviews. Just read them. There's a lot of come-ons. There's a lot of people who, and I'm not saying this in a derogatory way, but there's a lot of people who didn't quite make it as authors, so they become author coaches. And I'm not saying that doesn't mean they're not good author coaches, because sometimes those skill sets overlap. That's my Venn diagram. They overlap here in the center, but they're not necessarily the same thing. There are some people who are great marketers who aren't really great novelists, and vice versa. I feel like I'm lucky that I can do both, but I can't fix cars, or I don't know which. There are things I don't know how to do, but in my area of things that I'm able to do, I can cook, I can play the fiddle and several other instruments. I think I do well with public speaking. Part of this channel is me kind of polishing that. And I can write novels that people like to read. And the reason why I know that is because I write a series and people buy book 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I think I do pretty good on the marketing stuff like that. So anyway, the fact that Brian Cohen's course was suggested by Amazon themselves was all I needed to know about its legitimacy and whether it could be trusted. And first of all, before we go any further, just so you know, I put a link. We're in the middle of one of his 5-day author ad challenges, and I'll get into what that is in a minute. But there's a link below in the description of this video. So this is the first thing I put up. There's a link to it. You can sign up. You might be able to jump in on this time, because I think it goes all the way through the end of next weekend. And you're behind. So like video 0, video 1, and video 2 were Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Saturday is kind of like a catch-up day. Saturday the weekend is, and then they're going to do videos 3, 4, and 5 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but they're going to leave it open all the way up until the end of next weekend, the end of next Sunday, and then they shut everything down. And then, because what you're really doing is getting a sample of what their author ad school is going to be like, and that goes year round. And then every 90 days they do this author ad challenge. So if you weren't able to get in on it now, you can get in on it in July. And by the way, there's a lot of information. There's a lot of information where I think for about 2 years, I'm only now beginning to feel like I'm ready to kind of move to the next step. And I've benefited from what I've learned already. But the initial 5-day challenge teaches you how to set up your initial ads in a way that isn't going to suck all your money out. It's going to be the most effective, low cost, highest performing, the most efficient way of doing the ads. And honestly, it takes months and months to even get to the point where you're spending more than $5 a month. And this is having dozens of ads, each with a $5 a day budget to be able to be spent on Amazon, and it never comes close to spending that much money. My ads are only recently spending more money because I'm getting more clicks and I'm getting more sales. Of course, it goes with it. So the author ad challenge is it'll take you from zero. You've never done an ad in your life, or you have been doing, but you want to learn more. And I will tell you, like, there are people, and if you are down for it, I would say go right ahead. That will sign up for the whole author ad school. There are other people like me that keep coming back, and especially in the beginning, like I took the first one, I think in July of 2022, and then I came back in October, and getting the information presented to me again after having dealt with those ads and watched them for the 90 days in between, things started really clicking for me, and I started, oh, I get it. And so you might need to do it a couple of times. And the great thing is it's free and you're always welcome to do it. I will say this for me. I keep track of like my sales. I have all sorts of spreadsheets that show me what my royalties are every single month since I started publishing. And I can see, like spikes in my sales when a new book comes out. I can see that my averages, because I have an average for every year of what I made per month. And I can see my averages growing year by year. And I will tell you that after I did the first author ad challenge, and this was after I only had three novels and 2 nonfiction works. And just for reference, now I have 5 novels and 2. So I went, I'm like 2 books, I guess, from there. My monthly average royalties, and royalties are basically the money I get paid. So like when people buy one of my books on Amazon, I get a little chunk of money from that sale that goes to me, and that's my royalty. My monthly average royalty doubled within a month after me doing the first author ad challenge. So I really, really do recommend it quite a bit. And yeah, and then it just got better and better. And then, there's all sorts of factors. So I started adding more books and getting more readers coming in. And that's really how it works, is especially if you're writing in a series, and it's a series, you got to write a good book number 1. It's absolutely write a good number 1 book, or book 1 of your series, so that people want to come back and read the next one. That's very important. Doing that, putting out ads, you're constantly adding new readers, so that every single time I put out a new book, I got more people that are ready to buy it. So a couple things before we go into this demonstration here. So you can sign up for that. If you can't get in on this author ad challenge, you can get in on the next one, which is in July. And also the listed in there is my second book, Perils of Perryville, is only 99 cents in the U.S. for the rest of today. Starting tomorrow all the way through next weekend, it'll be 99 pence. That's just a little less, 1 pence less than a pound in the UK. So that'll be good if you watch this later on. That'll be good all the way through, I think, April 21st in the United Kingdom, 99 pence. And then I think below that I have some links to. There's a link to, you see all my books are if you're interested. And I have an email list now. So if you want to be notified of when things are on special, or when a new book is coming out, like for example, I'm writing the French Fiasco, which is book 6 now of my series. If you want to be kept up to date when that's coming out, or if you want to know, I do public appearances. I do book signings and talks, and so outside of my social media, you'll get an email from me saying, hey, I'm going to be at this place, or hey, this book is on special, or whatever. Please sign up for my email list. And I think that's all I got down there. All right, so let's talk about this. What is the 5-day author ad challenge? It is he's got a company called Best Page Forward, and through that company, he's got a thing called the Author Ad School, and in it, he's got multiple experts in this, and they're all trained by him and trained in this method. And it's basically how to not just create the ads, but then how to leverage them, how to manage them so that you're getting so you're reaching out to as many readers as possible. And also you'll learn things like to test to see if your book is profitable. It might be that there's a problem with your blurb, or there's a problem with the cover, or you're in the wrong categories for your book or something like that. They can really help you out. I mean, in the end, you got to write a good book. That's kind of non-negotiable. But you might have written a good book, but there are some problems with, you need a better cover, you need a better blurb. They're going to help you with all that kind of stuff. So what happens is you sign up for it through an email. If you click on that link, it'll take you there to do the sign up. And then the way it's formatted is that every day you're going to get a starting on the first Wednesday of the challenge, you're going to get an email, and the email will have a link, and the link will take you to a page like this. Let me see if I can get to this page here. Yeah, it'll take you to a page like this. I'm going to move that. There we go. So I can see what I'm doing here. Take you to a page like this, and it's basically a blog post. And okay, I'm going to hide that. And what's going on here? All right, good. And we're still okay. I'm still learning StreamYard. And here's a video. That's Brian right here. And basically, you get it in two formats. You get it written out here, and then you get it spoken here. I find it's good to do both because sometimes I need to hear something in two different ways, or twice, or more than once for it to sink in. So sometimes I read the blog post first, and then I listen to the video, or I listen to the video, and then when I'm going back to do the exercises, I can go back to the blog post and see it kind of written out. So I don't have to sit through and try to find where he talks about certain things. This is the third day. So he's got a day 0, even though, it should be it should be like the 2-week author ad challenge, but I don't know. I don't know his reasoning. I know he's smarter than I am, so I'm sure there's something to do with that. But yeah, you'll have this whole lesson here, and then including creating an ad. This is day 2, which is technically day 3, about how to do a keyword ad. And I'm going to do that for you, by the way. And then at the end of this whole lesson here, and as a recap, is homework, and the other part of this course is either on Slack or on there's a face group book called the 5-day author ad challenge. You're only able to post in there when the challenge is live, and like I said, the challenge is really like 10 days long, because it's like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of the first week is our active days of getting homework assignments. The weekend there are like live streams with different coaches that you can attend. The group is wide open, so you can catch up on your homework if you weren't doing it in time. And then there's lessons Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And by the way, the lesson is sent to you 7 o'clock Eastern. I'm in Central Time, so I get it at 6. And then but then they leave it open that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So you can, and not only post your stuff, but you can ask questions. The coaches will come in and help you, all that kind of stuff. And part of it is you do the homework, and then the last bit of each homework, like, please make sure to comment on another author's post in the group to cheer them on for doing the homework. And then the extra credit 1, it says, please comment on 2 other posts, and then extra credit 2 on 3. So you end up commenting on see, I can't do math, 6 people's homework, and it's fun. And I've made some friends. Some of the people we ended up friending each other on and because we're cheering people along, and we know each other's work, and I've made some relationships with other authors through Author Ad Challenge. So this is actually day 2. So you know, like I said, Wednesday is day 0, which technically, I mean, it should be day 1. Thursday was day 1, and then this is day 2. So this is basically in the middle of the challenge. So this is what the video looks like. I'll play a little bit. I don't know how much Brian is, how happy he is. I think he's fine because I'm promoting his thing. So here we go.
Welcome back to the 5-day Author Ad Profit Challenge, sponsored by Author Ad School, a premium course and membership community that allows you to go from profitable ads to profitable months and careers. Today, we're talking about how to target specific books and phrases with your ads. So we're getting a little narrower. We're talking about how to track your sales and how to optimize those 7 KDP keywords that are so important for your metadata. I hope you've been enjoying the homework, the live Q&As, and that fun that we can have in the groups, either in Facebook or Slack. Let's get.
And that's the introduction to. This is basically the 3rd video. So by the time you get here, you know you've already. And then once he does, he kind of explains everything, and then he does a little break, a commercial for Author Ad School, and then he does like I'll jump ahead here. He'll do a live or a demonstration.
Let's go over to Amazon, but you know what? I'm going to do something different first. I'm going to go create an new incognito window, and I'm over here going to Amazon.com. Now I'm doing this so that it does not. It wants me to enter some characters here. I want to not pollute the Amazon search algorithm as I go searching for some keywords here. So I'm going to go to Kindle Store here.
And yeah, so he's going to show you, hands-on how to do it. I'm trying to find where he builds an ad, but I'll build you an ad anyway. Oh, here we go.
I'm going to go over to the KDP reports for these ads. We're going to ignore adjust bids by placement.
This is him building an ad.
Keyword, our campaign TBS SPK. We'll call it random.
And by the time you get to this, you've already been through 2 days worth of like the very first video is how to set up your your account with Amazon to even start creating ads. Then at 2:00 Eastern, 1:00 Central, he comes on either Zoom. You can jump on the Zoom call, or you can watch it live through Facebook and maybe Slack. I'm not quite sure, but I know it's live on Facebook. I think it's just Facebook and Zoom. And then he'll answer. He'll teach more, but you can ask questions, and either he'll answer it or his staff will be in the chat and they'll answer questions. So it's really good. The first day, or day 0, we learned how to do an auto ad. And this is basically, you're putting very little information in there. You're letting the algorithm do all the work, basically the AI. And every book that you do should have at least one auto ad. And then the next day we learn how to do category ads. And those are ads that can target like, those will target what do you call it, like a whole category. Like, for example, I can do an ad that's going to target military historical fiction, and so any book that is in that genre if you're on that page, you could very well see an ad for my book while you're looking at that page. And I'll tell you, for me, the category ads work very well, probably more than the keywords. What we're going to do today is the keyword, and I'm basically doing my homework that I was supposed to do on Friday. But see, that's why he does it Wednesday through Friday, weekend off, and then Monday through Wednesday again, so that you so if you fall behind like I did, you got the weekend to catch up. And like I said, if you really wanted to get in on this, you could sign up right now and just get caught up. I mean, you could go crazy and do Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday's homework today. But even if you didn't get caught up, you'll have all the way, and you'll have 7 days to do 5 days worth of work. And it's not all day long. It takes, I think the homework assignments take about an hour. The keyword stuff is a little tough. So let's do it. I am not, just so you know, I'm not teaching you how to do this. I'm just demonstrating. So I suggest that you take this free course. But I'm gonna make an ad right now. And so what I'm making is a keyword ad. Basically, what a keyword ad is if somebody goes to Amazon and they're searching they're searching, and let's say they say Civil War novel, and they type that in. If I'm targeting that phrase, there's a good chance that my ad will show up. And why is it not guaranteed? Because many people are trying to show up for that, and so you bid, and he'll tell you that you should bid, like, I think it's 39 cents per click for a first in series, 34 for an interior book or a standalone. But once again, I'm not really teaching you. I'm just showing an example of how it works. So one of the part of my homework, and I've done the first two parts of it, and one of it was to come up with 50 or more keywords. And basically, I thought of everything I could come up with that someone might, if someone was looking for a book like mine, what would they type into the search bar on Amazon that would cause it to come up a book that they want. That's what these are. So this morning, while Laura was sleeping next to me, I was trying to get, I'm an early riser, and she likes to sleep in on the weekend. So usually while she's sleeping, I'll do my work. And we don't live together. We spend, unless it's a special occasion, we usually, on a typical week, we spend 3 nights together. She spends the night at my house Wednesday and Saturday night. I spend the night at her house on Friday night. And then, of course, there are other, things. These are my these are my portfolios. I mean, I'm trying to keep my stuff organized so that every book has its own portfolio of ads. And you can see the Prussian Prince, which was spending quite a bit. And just so you know, Brian will tell you, don't run ads outside of launches and specials. Don't run ads for your interior books or your later books in a series. Run ads for your book one, because the idea is, if people click on an ad to read book one and they like your series enough to keep reading, you don't have to advertise to them again. Once you get them into your funnel, hopefully they'll read through your series. So we're going to make an ad for Rampage on the River, and I'm going to open that up. And one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I've made 2 ads. I made an automatic ad, and that one is serving, and I've already had 2 clicks on. So 1,088 impressions. I just made this on Wednesday. So that means it's been shown to people over 1,000 times, and it's been clicked on twice. And I've spent about 14 cents. So even though my bid is 39 cents, you win the bid. You're willing to bid up to 39 cents, but doesn't mean that you're actually paying that every time you do it. That is just a single ad. these are campaigns actually, and then in the campaigns you can have ad groups, which does not make that name does not make sense because an ad group is basically a single ad, and I don't understand why it's called a group. That's beyond my understanding. But this is, and sorry, because I'm streaming, my computer is very slow. In fact, last week I had a crash, but I have three these ads here, ad groups. So all three of these are under the umbrella of a single campaign, which uh, which is which I organize all my category ads. And so I'm in the U.S. historical fiction, um, war fiction, and military historical fiction. I'm going to create more of these. He says 5 to 10. He just had, on the day that we were assigned to do it, he says, make up the 3 for now, and we'll make more later. So that's that. I'm going to go back out to my portfolio. So if that makes any sense, we're just use subsets of subsets. So a portfolio will have a bunch of campaigns in it, and a campaign can have multiple ad groups in it. And I don't know if ad groups can have multiple ads. I haven't gotten to that level of understanding, but basically you have portfolio, and you can arrange this however you want to do it. But you'll have a portfolio in the which will have a collection of campaigns, and the campaigns can have will have ad groups, and you can have basically hundreds of ads running, and every one of them has a $5 budget, daily budget. You're not going to spend that money. You're the most I've ever spent on Amazon in 1 month was like $50, and I was running, and that was after years of running ads, and the AI on Amazon finally like running my ads to people who are clipping, and I'll tell you this: I made the money back quite easily. I did. But I did have to cool some things down after a while and get a little bit more focused on where I was spending my money. So let's spend some money. I'm gonna make what's called a keyword ad. I've already done the work of coming up with over 50 keywords that we're going to target with this ad. So we're inside the portfolio I called Rampage, and in this portfolio are only ads that I'm running to my first book, Rampage on the River. This portfolio is constantly running. These ads run nonstop, and the reason being is because I'm always trying to get people into my series. The other portfolios, the other books, right now I only run ads when I'm launching, including the pre-orders, and then like maybe the first 2 months after it comes out, and then when anything's on 99-cent promo, I run ads. And why do you do that? Well, why run ads if it's a 99-cent promo? Because you barely make any money off it. Well, the idea is just to entice people to get into the series. And I found that even though usually you want to concentrate on book 1, sometimes if you give book 2 or book 3 or whatever at 99 cents and people see it and they're interested, they'll say screw it, and they buy the whole series and they buy all the other books at full price and they get the one up. I found that has worked for me. I don't know if that's going to work universally for everybody. So I just want to check here. Okay, good. And all right, so we're going to create a campaign. We're going to keyword campaign. So I click create campaign. And this is going to be slow because we're live streaming here. By the way, thanks for joining me, and please give me a like and a subscribe. It doesn't cost any money to subscribe. It just means when you go on Amazon or YouTube, you'll see that I've posted a video, and give me leave a comment. I'll respond to them. All right, so we're gonna do. So stay away from lock screen. Stay away from sponsored brands. I experimented with sponsored brand. My God, it's spent a lot of money with very little return, and I should always listen to Brian Coney, because he says, don't do this, but do this sponsored product. So I'm gonna click that. And like I said, I'm not doing this to teach you, although you could follow this. I'm just showing you this to show how it works. Now, one of the things, I'm redoing a lot of my ads because um, back in 2022, and this is the reason why I come back every 90 days to retake the challenge, because things change and things get updated. And so things have changed since I first started doing. Not Brian changed, it's Amazon changed. And so Brian and his staff are constantly changing what the changes. And so it's good. So back in 2022, he was recommending that you put ad text, custom text ad, where you write in, a swashbuckling adventure or something like that. And he was teaching how to write copy. Their experimentation found that ads that have text with them don't necessarily outperform ads without them. And I think I was artificially writing some, following some formulas that I don't think were really working that great for me. So and I also think that one of the reasons I'm redoing my Rampage ads is because I recently did a bunch of ads for the Prussian Prince, and those were running a lot more hotter than my Rampage ones. And I was wondering, is it because they're new and they're made under new algorithms and under new AI? So I'm refreshing my Rampage ads by recreating a lot, like the auto ad and the category ads I'm redoing. I'll probably keep my old keyword ads because you can kind of never have too many of those. So we're going to do a standard ad, which means I'm not going to add any kind of ad copy. Okay. Now this is where I get confused. Okay. I get really confused by this. So the ad group name is not the name of the campaign. And the ad group, the word group is what's confusing. It should be just ad name, because the ad is a subset of the campaign. And ad group makes me feel like there's more than one within this group. And I don't see evidence that that's the case. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, I'm going to name this ad. I'm going to name the ad. Forget the word group, even though it says that. So I'm going to say Rampage. This is my own kind of naming system. Is, my titles are multi-word titles, right? But when I talk casually about my books, I have a nickname for every single one that is one word out of the title. So this book is called Rampage on the River, The Battle for Island Number 10. I just call it Rampage. Perils of Perryville, I call it Perils. Blood for Blood at Nashville is called Blood. Mexico, My Love is called Mexico. The Prussian Prince is called Prussia. So I'm going to say Rampage, SPK, which means sponsored, keyword ad. I'm going to say brainstorm, because these are ones that I did not pull off of. There's other ways of doing this. So, and we're going to learn that Monday, but this is the initial keyword ad. So these are things I brainstormed. And like I said, I'm going to let Brian teach you how to do it. But what I did is I came up with everything I thought might be a good thing to type in into the search. If someone was looking for a book like mine, what would they type in? And then I got an incognito window because if you use just your regular, you've been on Amazon a million times, Amazon knows you. So it's going to cater towards what it already knows. But if you do incognito, it doesn't know, and you don't sign into Amazon, you're like a fresh person out of nowhere. So you'll get more honest answers. And so I was brainstorming, I was typing in things, and then it was not only what I was typing, but then it would auto generate a bunch of other things that were similar searches. So I was copying all those down onto a list. So I was creating this list of not only what I was coming up with, but similar search things. And I'll show you, when we get to that. So I'm going to call this Rampage SPK Brainstorm. And I'm also going to put that we're doing this, because this is book one. He says, you bid up to 39 cents. That does not mean that I'm paying 39 cents every time someone clicks on one of these ads. it means I'm willing to pay up to 39 cents. But as you saw, I got 2 clicks at 14 cents on my other one, and I've made some sales. So I don't know if the attribution is really hard, and don't trust it on the ad council. But he'll explain that to you as well. But I've had sales of book one. Did they come from those clicks? Could be, probably. All right, so Rampage on the River, the Battle for Mile number 10. He says only, try to do in one product. So, like, for example, there are 4 versions of Rampage on the River. There is a paperback, an ebook, a hardcover, and an audible book. I don't think you cannot run ads. Yeah, you can't run the ads to the audible version. So we're going to do, we're running ads to the Kindle one because that's what sells the most. I would say about 75% of my sales come from either ebooks or Kindle Unlimited, which is like Netflix, where you pay a monthly fee, and through that you can read as many books as you want that are part of it. Just like Netflix, you pay a monthly fee, and then all the movies and shows that are on Netflix you can watch. Okay, so we're going to do that. And then we're going to do, so if it's an auto ad, you just say automatic targeting and you're done. All right. And then the AI will, and I always make at least one no, only one, but every version of your book should have an auto ad. Right. And right now I'm just concentrating on the ebooks because those are the ones that sell the most. If I was selling more paperbacks, and I might later on do some paperback ads, but the nice thing is it doesn't really matter, because if someone clicks on my ad, it'll take them to a landing page where they'll have a choice. Even if the ad was targeting Kindle, you still have the option once you go on the landing page of like, hey, I want to get this on Audible, or I want to get this on, I want to get a hardcover of this. What's really cool is that my novels are set up that if you buy the Audible version of it, you can add on the Kindle version as well at a reduced price. So you can go back and forth between reading it. And I think I don't know how this works, but this is very clever. I know that I'm able to switch from like reading Kindle books on my actual Kindle and sometimes on my phone. And sometimes I read it on my phone if I'm traveling and I don't bring my Kindle with me, or I'm in a situation where I don't have it with me. Sometimes when I'm in bed with Laura and she's sleeping and I don't want to, I can't sleep, but I want to do something with my brain other than stare at the ceiling. I can read on my phone without turning on the light. And so my Kindle and my phone don't always do a great job of this, but if my Kindle has updated with the Wi-Fi, when I get on that same book on my phone, it'll take me to where I left off. So I can switch back and forth usually pretty easily. The Audible version, I guess we'll do that too with Kindle. So if you get the package deal where you buy the Audible version and then tack on a reduced version of or a reduced price of the ebook, you could be listening to it in your car and then later on pull out your Kindle to read it, and your Kindle should pick up where you left off when you're listening. That's great. Imagine how many books you could get through if you could both listen to it while you're driving to work and back, and then reading in your armchair. I love it. All right, so what are we going to do next? All right, so we're going to do manual targeting, and everything's going to be slow because I'm live streaming, and that is slowing everything down. And then we're going to do keyword targeting. The product targeting is when you do what do you call it? By category. All right, so now we're going to do, this is something that is you got to pay attention to, because there's like a suggested bid and a default bid, and you have to go in here and change those, or it's going to decide. Like, I'm not spending 64 cents for a click. Are you kidding me? We're going to spend 39. And okay, that's the custom. And and the default. And so the reason why you do that is just to make sure that it doesn't sneak in a higher bid that you don't want to pay. So we're only paying. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to take out phrase and exact. And what that means is if I put in if one of my phrases like military historical fiction, if I put in exact, someone has to spell out military historical fiction in order for my ad to appear on that search. So like if you want exact words or exact phrases, you can click on those things. We're doing broad. So if someone says fiction, military, historical, and rearrange the words, well, then it'll still show up on that search because it's taking a broad interpretation. Okay. Now, here's something very interesting. They already there's already some suggested keywords. So these are things that people would type in that would show up, that your book would show up. So I'm going to take some of these and see the suggested bid. But see, we've already let's make sure we got this set up right. We've already got this set to default bid, I think. So let's just say battle book. Yeah, and see, this is just a 77, but we're doing 39. I'll go with that. Historical fiction. Yeah. I don't know James Mullen. I'm sure that's a historical fiction bestsellers. Yeah. So if somebody types in historic, I mean, it's a lie. I'm not a bestseller. I mean, I have been at times, but you know, we'll do ebook. Patrick Clay, I don't know him. Doesn't mean that they're not good people. I just are good writers. I just don't know anybody. David Fitzgerald, I don't know him. Yeah, okay, we'll do books. We'll do books, bestseller. I mean, this might actually. I think Brian would be scolding me right now because he says relevancy is very important. But yeah, let's see, best-selling books of 2023. Sure, I don't know everybody's. Jeff Baggett, don't know him. Free. Okay. Yes. I'm gonna. So if somebody, because some other people are using my name to advertise it, and that's fine. And I suggest you do it too. If you write books like mine, by all means, target my name. But I'm also targeting my name as a as kind of a defensive thing, so that your book and my book will show up. Let's see, historical fiction bestsellers of 2023. Sure. Vietnam. Okay, here's where I'll say no, because my book is not about the Vietnam War, and so you might say, well, why wouldn't you just do it anyway? Well, because relevancy. So let's say somebody is searching because they want a book about the Vietnam War, and my book is one of the books that popped up because I targeted that book for ads. And so they go, oh, this looks interesting. Rampage on the River. Maybe it's like Apocalypse Now with on the river. And then they click on it, and it's like, oh no, it's not. It's Civil War. Gross. I don't want to do Civil War. And so I just paid on that click for someone who's not gonna be interested in reading my book. Same thing with World War II historical fiction. Now there might be people who are interested in the Vietnam War or World War II. But that's not what they were looking for when they typed that in. So, we're not going to do that. All right. Historical novels, sure. Bernard Cornwell, absolutely. If you like Bernard Cornwell, you'll like me. That's probably the easiest way to explain to people. I mean, I'm definitely a different writer, but my books would be popular. If somebody likes Bernard Cornwell, if you like the Sharp series, especially if you like the Nathaniel Starbuck series, I'm your boy. You'll like me too. I'll do artillery. I know fiction books too broad, but who cares? Civil War historical fiction, absolutely. I don't know what these numbers mean here. You know what? I'm gonna ask that in the group. Actually, that's a good one. Yeah, that's. I'd like to know what that is. And see, that's what's great about the author ad challenge, is I want what is IS 3% IR 71? What does that mean? I don't know, but I bet someone in the group does. And this was great. Brian does answer questions here and there, but he's got so many people working for him that are experts. So it's not just him. It's this whole company. All right, let's see. Christian historical books, no. Western, no. Like I said, relevancy. Some of the stuff I picked, Brian would probably yell at me for, because it's too broad. But definitely Burner Cornwell books. Hell yeah. Free, no. Book 10, no. Free Prime Reading, no. Free ebooks, no. Rampage River, sure, because maybe they're literally looking for my book. So okay, someone might. River book, yeah. Century, no. Long book. Best historical fiction books, hell yeah. Best historical fiction book, you better believe it, bucko. Free history, no, ain't shit free from me, man. Let's see, best-selling historical fiction books, adult, yeah, man, why not? Best-selling historical fiction, sure. American Revolution, no, because if you're looking for American Revolution, you're going to be disappointed that you clicked on a you know what, historical fiction books teen. It's an adult book, but I was reading stuff like this when I was 12, and I kind of wrote American history books. I'm not going to do that because that is implying nonfiction, and even though my books are based off of real history, Revolutionary War books. Now Simon Scarrow, sure, you like him, you like me. And Horatio Hornblower, yeah. I mean, this is like Bernard Cornwell grew up reading Horatio Hornblowers and wanted to write his own version of that. Griff Husker, yes, hell yeah. I want to read him. He's a really great guy. He's been on Rock Paper Swords, and he's a guy, very nice man. My limited interaction with him on social media has been great. So let's see what else. A lot of these people I know are good people. I just don't know. I don't know them well enough to say, yeah, my books are like them. I mean, I know, James Longstreet is not in my book, but otherwise, John Jakes, hell yeah, North and South. If you like John Jakes, but I've never read John Jakes, but I know he's supposed to be a big deal. David Gilman, that sounds familiar. I'm gonna go for it. David Gilman, why not? Wow, I mean, I could do a whole ad with just like Patrick O'Brien. Yeah, see, Patrick O'Brien writes, Napoleonic British Navy books. Good stuff. Just like C.S. Forrester. Let's see. Stay away from cowboys. Although I do get a lot of people who have bought my book have also bought kind of stuff. A lot of them are also bots of westerns. And I do get that there is a little bit of a connection between Civil War and westerns. But I don't think it's strong enough for me to really target westerns. Engdahl, yep. There's 3 Engdahl authors that I know of. There's me. There's Sylvia Engdahl, who I believe writes science fiction. And there is a William Engdahl who writes military but nonfiction. And I'm not related, as far as I know, to either of them. All right, we're almost through this list here. Hornblower, yeah. So Hornblower is it's either C.S. Forrester. I think it's C.S. Forrester's character. So C.S. Forrester and Patrick O'Brien are very similar. They both wrote like um, naval military books of the British Navy during the Napoleonic Wars. They wrote almost the same thing. Franco-Prussian War, not yet. That belongs to my other book. Let's see here. It was Patrick O'Brien, who I just was talking about. I lost him. There he is. Hell yeah. And we'll do a Civil War novels, historical fiction. Hell yeah. Oh, this is going to be a good ad, man. We might have too much in here. Okay, so I've gone through all the suggested. I wasn't even going to do that, but there's things that I didn't even think of. So I've added 32 already. Okay, and then I'm going to enter a list. And with this, I believe this is right. I have a list. There might be some some duplicates, and when I put them in, they won't show. Or they'll reject them because they'll say you already have these, and I'll be like, okay, that's cool. All right, so let's see. So here's my keywords. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing, but that's fine. This is not important. I have a list here. I'm highlighting it. Part of the thing was also is that, all right, I can't remember how many of these are, but we are definitely going to have a good. He says, when you make keyword ads, try to put like 150 to 200 keywords in each one, and then make like 5 of them a week, until you have like, I can't remember how many he says you should have, but it seems like a lot. But like I said, like some of these ads may not get a click for weeks, so you want to have a lot of ads. So let's see. I'll make sure I'm still sure. Okay, good. So I created a list this morning, just in notes. And so I did that work already. So now what I'm doing is I copied and I'm pasting them here. And there we go. So so all these things: Civil War era novel, historical war novel, war and military action fiction, Kindle, 19th century. This right here, the misspelling of civil. The reason why is because when I started typing in, this is one of the similar searches. So basically, some people misspell the word civil, and so sometimes you want to target misspellings of words because some people are dumb enough to be searching for that. Well, we want dumb people too. So we're going to add those, and I bet you not all of them go over because we're going to have some repeats here. All right. Waiting for that though. Okay. So, okay, I know Mexico My Love didn't go, because you're not allowed to do anything that has like any punctuation. So Mexico My Love has a comma in it. It took the comma out. I think all these other ones have already been selected before. Okay. And all right, so 90 added, and we'll just clear these out because I think they're already there, and that's why they didn't go through because there's nothing else wrong with them. All the bids are 39 cents. So like, you may be thinking like, God, Cody, like 90 words, like you're gonna blast it. No, you won't. So campaign name. So remember, the ad group is the ad. The campaign name is the larger umbrella in which the ad groups are under. So I'm going to have more ad groups or more ads, and so we're going to call this Rampage SPK 39-cent multi ad. And I'm calling it multi-ad because I'm going to make multiple ad groups underneath it. And I'm really, I'll get to this in a minute, but well, I'll say it now. I really want to. I've been half following Brian's advice, and it finally caught up with me, my deviations, and so now I want to like kind of go back to the basics and really follow what he's telling me to do. So let's just review this to make sure we did everything right. Because one thing is, there's only so many things that you can edit once you create an ad. And if you screw it up, you just have to like archive the ad, turn it off, and just start over again. So the ads never quite go away. So it's a standard ad. We're calling the ad Rampage SPK, which stands for sponsored keywords, where the ad is for the Kindle version of Rampage on the River. But when they click on the ad, it'll take them to a landing page where they'll have the option to buy the paperback. We're going to do manual targeting. Yep. Keyword targeting. Yep. Default bid is 39 cents. We got 90 words that we've added. And I can see they're all at 39 cents. Yeah. Okay. Oh. Dang it. Sorry, it's. Oh, this is. I'm glad we checked. We're doing dynamic bids down only. That is a thing where you allow it some leeway. We don't want it going up and down. So dynamic bids up and down means that it will allow you. It'll if Amazon thinks you got a good chance of getting a click, you're allowing it to go above your bid limit, which is 39 cents. Dynamic bid down only means that it'll bid lower, but not over. And then fixed bid means every time it's 39 cents. Well, I don't want to do that. So that's the only thing you do. You don't do, okay, good. You don't do negative keyword targeting. I think later on, I know David Chesum says like, do like free, for example. If someone's looking for free, because there are free ebooks on Amazon that you can read and download. So if someone is searching for free historical fiction books, and your ad comes up and they click on it and they say they have to pay for it, well, then they say screw that and they go back to their search, and now you just paid for that click and you're not going to get the sale. So that's but Cohen is saying don't do that, so we won't. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to launch a campaign, and then okay, your campaign is has launched successfully. Note your campaign is pending approval from moderation team. Moderation cap 72 hours is pretty standard. What I'm going to do, I'm going to compress this a little bit. That's too much. Right there. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is because I'm going to post this in the part of the homework is posting this in the group. I won't do that with you guys because I'm going to spice this up in Canva. You know, I had my duck. Everybody, it gets people's attention. You know, the duck and all that kind of stuff. You know, just I'll make a post with like pictures. You know, I got a little duck with a pickle hub, just to like. All right, so that's once I'm off the air, I'm gonna make my post for the group, and then that's it. That's it. That's how you do it. So there we go. I lived up to my promises. I showed you how to do it, or I showed you how I do it. I wouldn't take it from me. I would take it from Brian Cohen. You can jump in on the author ad. If challenge, I think all the way up to next Sunday. If you're watching this like a week later or so and it's too late, it's fine. come join the challenge in July. Now, if you really like a lot of support and a lot of help, and to have experts be able to answer your questions and guide you through the more advanced analysis of ads and what to do next once you make the ads in the original challenge, you can join the author ad school. I'm recommending it in that I think Brian and his folks are good people and honest people, and you're probably going to get your money's worth doing it. I'm not doing it just because the money and the time obligations is a little too much for me right now. He's got a book. I don't know. He doesn't really say this a whole lot because he wants to get people into that. Because once again, you get in the author ad school that you pay for, you're going to have like actual people that you can talk to and explain to them what your problems are, or your concerns, or what you don't understand, and they'll help you. And there'll be other students there as well that are professional authors that are also learning how to do ads. I don't need that much hand-holding. So he's got a book that basically, I think, teaches most of what you learn in the author ad school, but you just don't have someone that you can ask questions and live demonstrations and things like that. So I think what I'm going to do is, right now I'm reading his book on email marketing, and I'm almost done, and I'm pretty sure that that's probably what we're going to talk about next week. I'm sorry, I gotta stop looking at my screwed up here. So we'll probably talk about his book on that email marketing, and then once I do that, once I'm done with that ad challenge, I'm probably going to buy his book on Amazon ads, which should not only teach you what you learn in the 5-day author ad challenge, but most of the stuff that you would learn if you signed into the author ad school, which is all year long. So I'm not suggesting that you don't join up the school. I'm just saying that there's a cheaper, if you're a better self-learner and you figure out things pretty easily and don't need a lot of hand-holding, the book might be a good option. That's what I'm going to do. Maybe someday I'll join author ad school. I told Laura, I said, you know what, if I get to the point where because I still do side jobs, where I'm no longer doing anything for money other than writing and marketing my own books, and possibly taking a few fiddle gigs here and there, then I might make it a point to join the author ad school and really dive deep. But until that day, I think the $3.99 ebook on Amazon ads will probably do the trick. So anyway, thank you for hanging out. We're almost at an hour and 80 minutes of me talking. So congratulations without being completely annoyed and clicking out of here. Like I said, all the links are below. If you have authors that you like and that you enjoy and that you care about, make sure you give those authors 5-star reviews on both Goodreads and Amazon. We live and die by them. There's a lot of mean people out there that will give you a 1-star review and a bad review because of something stupid. Or sometimes you deserve it. Who knows? But anyway, that helps out a lot. Keep reading, keep writing. And join my email list if you want to keep up with when things are on special, when I have a new release, when I'm going to make an appearance. Of course, feel free to friend me and follow me in all the social media where I am, including this channel here. Give me a like. They smash that like button. Subscribe. Doesn't cost any money to subscribe. And I'll see you probably next. We're gonna do an overnight trip next weekend, but hopefully I'll be able to do something next Sunday. But usually, if I don't hit Sunday, I try to get in the next day or two. So anyway, I love you guys. Take care. I hope this was helpful. I'll just say, as a guy who gets I've won some contests with him, but who's not being paid. In fact, I applied for a job and interviewed, went through the interview process, even with Brian Cohen, and didn't get the job. So I'm not getting paid at all. If anything, I got rejected by Brian Cohen. And I'm saying Brian Cohen's a good guy that you should follow. He's got a podcast that you should listen to that's really good because it's weekly and it's the latest in independent publishing, and of course the author ad challenge. So okay, I'm babbling. Love you guys. Take care.